Jimmy Clark.
Hey, good day to all you great stewards of the land. It is Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark, brought to you by First National Bank and Trust of Elk City and Sarah, America. Happy Friday, everybody. We're going to call today's episode of Today in Ag Boomer Sooner Day Happy Hour. How's that? Boomer Sooner Happy Hour. How's that? Come on, everybody's got to be cheering for the Sooners tonight against Alabama. They'll start up, 7 o'clock at Norman. Home game in the championships. Let's go. Boomer Sooner, for sure. All right, let's take out some temperatures around the listening area, which includes all western Oklahoma and a lot of Texas Panhandle and all of the Oklahoma Panhandle. 56 degrees at Hollis, 52 at Hobart, 51 at Watonga, 55 at Arnett, 63 at Goodwell, 50 at the May Ranch, 50 at Lahoma, and out here in the Panhandle of Texas, more of the same. 56 at Palador Reservoir, 57 at Lipscomb, 53 at Miami, 55 at Dozer, 54 at Wellington, and 57 at Odell. Wind. Oh my gosh, the wind. Out of a different direction today. Cheyenne, home of the secret weapon. Right now, you guys have had the highest recorded gust all day, and it's happening right now. 32 mile per hour sustained wind with gusts up to 45. I bet there ain't any wire lining going on those fracks up there, is there? Probably not. 19 mile an hour at Hollis, 23 to 32 there at Sealing, and that's about it. It's windy everywhere, but right there in Roger Mills County, it's just hammering you guys. So, there's Cheyenne won the award today for something at least, huh? Okay, let's see what happened overnight in our big old world of agriculture. As soon as I can find it, there it is. Soybean and grain futures were a little changed overnight on light volume heading into the last session before Christmas week. The price of beans have been pressured in recent weeks by disappointing sales to China, the world's largest importer of oilseeds. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said last week that the Asian nation will buy 12 million metric tons from the U.S. suppliers by the end of February. The White House has said at the end of October that China would purchase the amount of soybeans by December 31st, but Bessent cited a little bit of issues between the White House statement and the actual deadline. Imagine that. Steel prices have been buoyed by optimism that even if it takes a while, China will still return to the U.S. for its soybeans. And I was saying yesterday, there was a story, and I look back, and I can't find it. I know I got it, but there was a story in there where China has banned 4 or 5 of the soybean contractors from Brazil because they delivered soybeans in some ships that had some treated seed in it from before the soybean load, and that ticked off the Chinese, so they're done. Let's see here. Grains traded on both sides have unchanged amid ongoing talks to end the almost 4-year raging war between Ukraine and Russia. And I really would hope they do come to a agreement there. But I read stuff all the time. Sometimes I don't even know why I read it, but that deal over there in that area, Russia, Ukraine, Poland, all those European countries right in there, them guys been in war since day one. And here the last week, I've been listening to more stories on the World War II and what was going on with Germany starting in the early 30s. I mean, we learned a lot of this in history, but there's way more to that area over there. I don't know that anyone will ever be happy in that area over there. So we'll see what happens. Let's see here. Russia is the world's largest exporter of wheat, and Ukraine is tied as the 5th biggest shipper, however you want to word that. Soybean futures for January delivery fell a penny and 3/4 to 10.60 1/4 a bushel overnight on the Chicago Board of Trade. Soy meal was up, down all the night, but it ended up down 70 cents to 301.60 a short ton, and soy oil lost 0.09 cents to 48.53 cents a pound. Corn futures for March delivery fell a half a penny to 4.44 a bushel. Wheat futures for March delivery lost a penny to 5.05 and 3/4 a bushel, while Kansas City futures dropped a penny and a half to 5.15 and a half a bushel. Shipments of corn and wheat to overseas buyers continue to outpace year earlier levels in the week through November the 27th, while soybean exports lagged, according to data from the United States Department of Agriculture. Corn exports since the start of the marketing year on September 1st now stand at 21.414 million metric tons, up a whopping 70, and I'm not 7, but 70% year over year. Wheat shipments since the start of the grain marketing season on June 1st total 13.435 million metric tons. That's up almost 23%. Exports of soybeans since the beginning of September were reported at 12.687 million metric tons, down 46%, according to the USDA. Commitments from overseas buyers to buy U.S. corn totaled 48.83 million metric tons. That's 30% gain. Wheat purchases jumped up 23% year over year to 19.422 metric tons. Soybean commitments from September 1st through November 27th totaled 23.38 million metric tons. That's a 37% decrease, not increase. The data is the latest from the agency as it continues to play catch up from the shutdown. Weather-wise, in our farm belt, extremely dry weather is forecast for much of western Nebraska, while cold is expected to continue in North Dakota, according to data from the National Weather Service. Winds in the Nebraska Panhandle will be sustained 20 to 30 with wind gusts up to 45, just like it's supposed to be here in western Oklahoma. I just looked over at the mesonet. There it is. Looks like the mesonet went down at Cheyenne, but it come back up. Still 43-mile-an-hour gusts right now at the mesonet in Cheyenne in Roger Mills County. Let's see here. It says temperatures in northern North Dakota will drop to around 38 degrees Fahrenheit below zero. Jesus. Yeah, get some of that. That's dangerously cold. Wind chills, no joke. As low as 40 below could cause frostbite on exposed skin in less than 10 minutes. No kidding. Never even thought about that. But it is, man. I worked a lot up there in North Dakota, and boy, that's a different kind of cold up there. I think that every area in the United States has a different kind of cold. But I still say to this day that when it's around 10 to 20 degrees in western Oklahoma and the eastern Texas Panhandle, and we got 30 or 40-mile-an-hour wind, I still haven't found a place as cold as this. I mean, I worked in North Dakota a lot. Yes, it's cold. We fracked a lot in 10, 20, 25 below up there with the winds howling. And yes, I'm not saying it ain't cold, because it is, but it's just a whole different ball game in western Oklahoma and eastern Texas Panhandle. Man, just a different kind of cold. I don't know if it's because of the humidity, the lack of, or the more of, or whatever it is. It's a different kind of cold. Well, the holidays are getting closer, and I want to take a minute here and tell all my listeners, all my sponsors, my bosses, people I work with here, from my heart to you guys, I appreciate the support I've had with Today in Ag show. And I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And that's coming from me. On that note, let's take a Wheeler General Store break, and we'll be right back after this.
He loves talking about farming and ranching. Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark.
You don't want to let your cotton set in the field day after day waiting to be gin. Now to better serve you, the cotton farmers in Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle, Lone Star Gin has processed over 540,000 bales of cotton. They've got locations in Pampa, Texas, and now in Burns Flat, Oklahoma. Lone Star Gin has the ability to process over 2,400 bales per day. All they do is gin cotton. Go to LoneStarGin.com for more information, and you can find them on Facebook.
Do you love the great outdoors? Maybe you enjoy trap shooting or skeet shooting, or maybe getting some target practice in at the firing range is your thing. If you're that person, you love guns. Hobart Farm and Garden has a whole room dedicated to guns, gun safes, ammunition, and more. It's quite impressive. You got to go check it out. They are Western Oklahoma's platinum Browning dealer and Glock stocking dealer. They're located at 1030 South Monroe in Hobart, Oklahoma. If they don't have it, you don't need it. Hobart Farm and Garden.
You could get specific and get them heated jackets and vests. You could get a Milwaukee Tools or Carlisle Tools or a toolbox. You could even get a new driver, a car detailing kit. If you know what they want or what they need, you can get specific. Or you can do the easy thing and get them a Napa gift card for Christmas. Don't forget the stockings, air fresheners for the car, flashlights, gloves, tumblers. How about phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers, or hand warmers? You know who's got all of this. Napa Auto Parts of Elk City, 716 West 3rd.
As a farmer or rancher, you're always looking for ways to save time and money. The Apache Hay Wagon from Everett's Welding in Visay, Oklahoma will help you do just that. The Apache Hay Wagon eliminates 80 to 90% of hay waste with its unique design. It hauls multiple bales, saving you time and money. Go by Everett's Welding today and ask to see the Apache Hay Wagon. You'll be glad you did. You can also visit them online at everettswelding.com.
Next spring, you'll fire up the tractor, turn the earth, plant the seed, and be on your way to another harvest. If you take care of your tractor right now. Before you put it up, do the maintenance so you'll be ready to go next spring. Everything you need to keep your tractor performing is at Camrock Supply. All the grease and hydraulic fluids and filters. All the nuts and bolts, all the tire patches. All the stuff is at Camrock Supply. All of it. Next to Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City. When it's time, make sure your tractor is ready to go.
This is the Elk City Livestock Auction Market Report for Friday, December 12th. 1,580 head were sold. 10 head of steers at $455 brought $487.50. 5 at $552 brought $415. 9 at $603 brought $367.50. 14 at $670 brought $357.50. 18 at $713 brought $349. 7 at $759 brought $321.50. 6 head of heifers at $463 brought $427.50. 7 at $503 brought $402.50. 10 at $523 brought $400. 8 at $561 brought $372.50. 3 at $588 brought $335. 9 at $644 brought $350. 11 at $789 brought $335. Butcher cows were $64 to $180. Butcher bulls $120 to $188.50. Bred cows $1,300 to $43.50. Pairs $2,100 to $37.50. Elk City Livestock Auction 3202 South Highway 6, Elk City, Oklahoma. Sale every Friday at 9 a.m. To consign, call Brandon Hickey 580-497-6097.
Oh, Jimmy's all wound up and ready to go. Here comes more of Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark.
Got to turn that button on before you start talking, Jimbo. Miami, Texas, 54 degrees. Relative humidity, 19. Dew points, 12. Winds out of the south at 24 with wind gust up to 30. Currently, peak wind gust today, 40 miles an hour. 0 minutes of red flag. 199 sub-freezing minutes and 8-inch soil temperature at Briscoe or Miami is Miami. 45 degrees. There you have it. I was looking at my Fowler Agency text line there during the break, and I had somebody texted in. Thanks, Jimmy, for at least acknowledging World War II. People seem to forget about that war. I never will. I don't know what they're teaching in history today at the schools. I have no clue. I know what they taught when I was going to school back in the 60s and the 70s. But the generation, not just the soldiers, but that whole generation from World War II will always have, will always be my favorite generation. I read a lot of history, and I, it's not that I'm studying. I just like reading stuff like that and watching videos of what was going on with the Third Reich and what one crazy guy was thinking he was going to do to the world, and then you turn around and see what the Japanese was trying to follow in the same footsteps. But I'm not even sure. I think I read a story here this year where the last World War II veteran had passed away that lived in Oklahoma. I don't know if any of them is still alive outside of Oklahoma. I have no clue, but they were tough. Them soldiers were tough, and all the way around. Navy, the Marines, the Army, the Air Force, which I don't think it was the Air Force back then. But what's amazing is the amount of production the American people, women, children, men, because there was a lot of men off battling World War II all over the world. And but the production that the American people, the industrial might, if you call it, could put out, it was crazy. One of the deals that I was watching this week was saying some of the German prisoners that they brought back to the mainland here in the United States was just shocked when they arrived at these naval ports to get off these prisoner ships to get put wherever they had, because I think they had quite a few German prisoners down around Frederick at some work camps down there, I believe. And they were saying that, how the women were building stuff and airplanes and on the assembly lines, and whoever wasn't capable of doing physical labor was out selling American bonds to support the war and all that stuff. It's just, it'll always be my favorite generation of people, not only because of the combat vets, but just because they learn how to walk. Because I mean, can you imagine with the way our country is right now, going to World War III today? I don't think we'll ever see all these tanks and all this other stuff needed in these wars today, because there's so much missiles and Air Force and no telling what kind of secret stuff we got rolling out of the satellites. I don't think it'll ever be that. But could you imagine trying to get people to get on assembly lines building airplanes and tanks and artillery and all this stuff today? We're not set up for it. It ain't going to happen. So, okay, enough of that. I love my World War II, though. All right. Finally, some farmland in Oklahoma and Kansas making national agriculture news. It's always talking about Indiana, Minnesota, Iowa, especially all these $20,000 an acre and crap and all this stuff. Well, $16 million for a Kansas-Oklahoma farmland auction draws some strong bidding. A family-owned property that included 5,043 acres of irrigated dryland, grass, and CRP ground drew strong local and out-of-state interest at a November multi-parcel auction that exceeded even optimistic expectations. The sale, marketed jointly by Peoples Company and the Lund Company, featured farmland located across Seward and Stevens County in Kansas and Beaver County in Oklahoma, and brought a total of $16 million, or $3,184 per acre. The farms are within 30-mile radius near the border of the two states. The land was owned by brothers Mile and Alex France. Their grandparents and parents started buying land in the 50s and continued to add to their farm through the 1970s. The ground has been rented for many years to local farmers. The brothers, who are not farmers themselves, recently inherited the property and chose to sell the whole thing in 17 tracts ranging from 157 acres to 639 acres. Jim Hain of the Lund Company said results surpassed their expectations. We sold the farm for the France brothers, and the total came in about 13% above our dream figure. Highlights were tracks 1, 2, and 3, high quality irrigated farm, which brought a high bid of $6,700 per acre. Grassland topped out at $1,558 per acre. Those were premium prices, better than expected. The auction included 53 registered bidders. In the end, 12 buyers, including a mix of local farmers and outside investors, walked away with a piece of property. Haynes said that nearly all successful local bidders owned adjoining land or farm nearby. Parts of the contributing factor is that areas that have a lot of cattle influence, he explained. And of course, the cattle market is doing really well right now, so it had a positive effect on the sale price. Most of the buyers plan to keep the land as its current uses, renting it out, or farming it directly. Here's some of the tracks. Tracks 1, Tracks 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2,098 acres sold for $9,857. Figured out around 4,600, almost 4,700 bucks an acre. Tracks 5, 159 acres sold for $710,000, which was a little over under 4,500 bucks an acre. And let's see here. Track 7, 639 acres sold for little 2.5 million, almost $4,000 an acre. And then we get down here, track 16 sold for 159 acres, sold for $971 an acre. So there wasn't the greatest of it. So irrigation acreage added some value, of course. Of the 5,043 acres, 2,300 of it was irrigated. 19 center pivots served by 17 wells. Most wells recently tested at 600 gallons per minute, a standout strength in southwest Kansas where irrigation water availability can be inconsistent. 1,184 acres of CRPs, paying more than $42,250 annually. Highly productive soils, including Ulysses silt loam, Richfield silt loam, and Delhart loam. Hain noted that the irrigated acres were strong, with strong water rights, continue to sell at a significant premium. Center pivot irrigated ground with good quality water wells for water sells for 2 to 3 times what dry land brings. This farm has excellent water and above average irrigation equipment, which is rare for that part of Kansas, he said. Pretty cool picture when you look at the picture on this article here. Got those pivots running and then outside those pivots, it's not much. But I don't know what time of the year they took this picture. It says here the irrigated tracts are typically planted to corn, while dry land fields are with a wheat milo rotation. The strong prices achieved in this sale mirrored broader regional patterns documented by the USDA. The USDA land value summary released in August 2025 continued strength for farmland in Kansas and Oklahoma. FYI, Kansas farmland averages $3,100 per acre. That's up 4.4% from 24. And Oklahoma farmland averages $2,540 per acre. That's up almost 6% since 2024. Hain, who is licensed to sell in several states, said the auction results reflect what he's seeing in the Midwest. High quality ground is bringing a premium. Lower quality ground is more of a challenge. That's fairly consistent across any of the land. So I was looking down through here, and they got this broke down. It says here, I was looking for the CRP one. So this one track, 317 bucks, or 317 acres of taxable land. FSA cropland is 318. It's entered in the CRP, And through October of 2033, annual payment is $13,927. So I scroll back up here to see what it sold for. Track 14 sold for 317 acres, sold for $1,136 an acre. So they're going to have to come up with some extra money to make that land payment. What do you guys think? All right. Today is the Wheeler General Store happy hour, so let's take a Wheeler General Store break. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, Jimmy's all wound up and ready to go. Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark.
It's Dameron Jewelers' 75th anniversary, and the KECO Rolling Radio Show will be there live tomorrow from 11:30 to 1. And in celebration of their 75th anniversary, Diamond Ray and Dixie Dam are having a 40% off store-wide sale. That's everything in the store 40% off today and tomorrow only. And it's just in time for Christmas. Don't miss Dameron Jewelers' 75th anniversary sale this weekend at Dameron Jewelers in downtown Elk City.
It's Dameron Jewelers' anniversary sale.
For the green awning.
Kent Watkins here with SEI Agritech in Elk City, Oklahoma. Are feral hogs causing damage to your land and crops? Try Kaput, our highly effective bait designed specifically for feral hog control. Kaput targets hogs where it hurts, helping you protect your property and your livestock. Don't wait for the damage to get worse. Call us or stop by today at SEI Agritech on South Randall in Elk City to learn more about Kaput. Follow us on Facebook for the latest updates and solutions.
You farmers like saving money on stuff you got to have? You can save instantly when you buy 2 or more eligible Bridgestone or Firestone ag tires at Blair Tire and Feed. Get $300 off all eligible AD, 2IF, and VF radial tires and Bridgestone radials. Get $200 off all eligible non-AD2 radial tires. And get $25 off Destination Farm and Destination Turf. Blair Tire and Feed at the Crossroads in Blair, Oklahoma. Save instantly on the tires you got to have.
Valley Center pivots are the most durable and reliable you can find. But when you do need replacement parts, your operation deserves the best. Valley Genuine Parts. Knutson Irrigation has been serving growers since 1981, and their experienced service technicians stand behind every part in their fully stocked warehouse. They also service other pivot brands. So when you need fast service and reliable parts, you need Knutson Irrigation. Call them for service or visit KnutsonIrrigation.com for more info.
You've got a problem, an issue, you can usually sit down and we can get it figured out while you're there. If it's something that we can't figure out right that day, it's usually within a day because everybody's accessible. If there's something that needs to be done loan-wise, we can get that ran to wherever it needs to go. Or if you just need help up front with some accounts or whatnot, I can walk you up there and introduce you to somebody and hang out with you and talk you through it. I can explain to Tammy or Tori or someone up front, hey, we've been discussing this. This is where we're at.
I'm Utah Robinson, and I help make the difference. First National Bank and Trust of Elk City and Sayre.
Member FDIC.
Cattlemen's Congress in the heart of cattle country is a lot more than just a cattle show. See for yourself January 4th through the 14th at the fairgrounds in Oklahoma City. The newest and most elite genetics North American cattlemen have to offer will be there. Cattlemen's Congress is the gathering place of the cattle industry and provides sales of elite genetics, something for every operation. Enjoy the commercial Cattlemen's Luncheon January 8th at 11 a.m. with the commercial female replacement sale at 1 p.m. For a full schedule and sale information, visit cattlemenscongress.com.
This Christmas, shop local. The Depot Trading Company Men's and More store in downtown Elk City is your destination for a great selection of men's clothing, plus the most unique men's, pets, and household gifts, barbecue grills, spices, accessories, and outdoor party gear. Check out their 50% off rack while you're there. The Depot Trading Company Men's and More store, 318 South Main Street in downtown Elk City. This Christmas, come on in and enjoy the ride.
He loves to talk about farming and ranching. Here's more of Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Boise City out in the Oklahoma Panhandle, 68 degrees, dew point's 23, humidity's 18. Check this out, 8-mile-an-hour wind. It's not blowing out there, but generally it is. 3-day average 4-inch bare soil temperature, 43 degrees, sunset at 5:36. Mostly cloudy and 75 degrees today. Tonight, cloudy, 41 degrees. Tomorrow, another nice day, a little breezy, not like the day, obviously, and 68 degrees. So who do you guys got tonight? Alabama or OU? And what's your score prediction? 580-225-9697 is the Fowler Agency text line. Let me know. Come on. I know I got a bunch of Sooner fans up there around Woodward. But in between there and here in Elk, got a lot of other fans, not Bama fans, but maybe. But I don't know. I don't think I actually know an Alabama fan out here. The Cotton King, 28-7 OU. Heck yeah. There's a true Sooner fan. Right. I think they're going to win the whole thing. I think OU's going to win the whole thing. And you might think I'm crazy, but just my thoughts. All right. Let's do the Central Crop Care Grain Market Report. Central Crop Care, they're located there in Hobart, Oklahoma. They're the go-to people to call for all your spraying needs, whether it's fertilizer, chemicals, whole 9 yards. Give them a call there in Hobart, Oklahoma. And let me get that up and make sure it's updated. Woo! Man, you guys seen the board today on Livestock? Sales going to be good at Elk City today. All right. Kansas City, hard red winter wheat. March, 516 down a quarter. May is 529 down a quarter. Wheat out of Chicago, March, 510 up 3. May, 521 up 3. Corn, March, 444 down a half. May is 451 down a half. Soybeans for January is 1050 down 1 3/4, and March is 1060 down 1 1/2. Soybean oil January 48.01 down 10. Soybean meal January 297.90 down $5. Took a pretty good hit today. March is 301.20 down 110. I believe that's right. Yep. And what else we got going on there? Not much. For Sugar Daddy over there, I think he's going to try to flood a pivot this year and grow some rice. So January rice right now is, I don't even know how to announce it. Probably 97.55 cents a pound if I was guessing. Change of 180. I'm not sure. That's me. I don't know nothing about rice. Neither does he. Cattle. Live cattle, February 231.15 up 275. April 230.52 up 237. Feeders for January 346.82 up 655. March is 340.40 up 580. April is 338.60 up 542. And lean hogs, February 84.57 up 45. April is 89.17 up 22. And that is your Central Crop Care Grain Market update going on. I was talking to old Charlet guy from down there around Reed and Greer County this morning when I seen him at the round table, and I asked him if he's going to get any cows bought today since they had like 600 on the yard according to their update on social media last night. He said he was going to try, but he doubted. He said there was too many end of the year tax write-off people going to be there buying today. So I guess that's one way to putting it. Machine repeat update. $280,000 for an 18-year-old semi sells for a record price, signaling that pre-def equipment demand is surging. It has been for 2 years. I don't know where this guy come from. A record-setting sale of 18-year-old pre-def semi has machine repeat, pointing to strong demand for used equipment, even as high prices and weak demand continue to weigh on the new farm machinery. So an 18-year-old semi set a record at the auction, offering one of the clearest signals yet where demand is flowing in today's machinery market and where it isn't. A 2007 Peterbilt 379, built before diesel exhaust fluid systems were required, sold for $280,000 during a late year consignment auction in North Dakota. The truck was a rare example, one owner, always shedded, and showing just 20,817 miles. Still, the price stunned even the seasoned auction watchers. Greg Peterson, better known as Machinery Pete, says the sale eclipses every previous result he's ever tracked for that iconic model of the Peterbilt. I've seen about 2,800 Pete 379s over the last 25 years, Peterson says. The previous high was 262,000, and that was back in July of 2022 when the whole market was absolutely on fire. To come along now and just smoke that number with an 18-year-old truck, that tells you something. That's something, Peterson said. It's demand not just for trucks, but for pre-emissions equipment across agriculture and transportation. Auctions, he notes, are brutally honest. They don't care about the model year labels or the marketing cycles. They simply reflect what buyers want and what they're willing to pay. The Peterbilt is an 18-year-old truck, and it brings $280,000. Auctions don't lie. Well, it depends. Up here in North Dakota, some of those ranchers and farmers out there got a pocket full of money from their oil wells up there. They tell you exactly what people want, and right now, that's used pre-def equipment. I'm looking at this truck, and yeah, it's a nice-looking truck, but it's nothing spectacular, but it is low miles. So what it says here, so the Peterbilt sale is not an isolated case. Peterson says used equipment values, broadly speaking, have been strengthening for much of a year, a trend that runs counter to what the machinery market has historically done during periods of soft farm income. Used values started to solidify in the third week of February. Peterson said they held, and held. Then when we got into November and December, it was like Katie bar the door. I've never seen this in my 36 years. What makes a current cycle unusual, he says, it's not just the used values are strong. It says they're strengthening at a time when new equipment sales are clearly contracting. In the past, when I've seen auction prices take off like this, it's always been equivalent to optimum conditions for new equipment sales. Peterson says that ain't the case this time. Recent auction data reinforced a 2011 Case IH 6088 combine pre-def and with low hours sold for $178,000, the highest auction price for that model in nearly 11 years. Then a 2009 John Deere 8295R tractor with just over 1,000 hours brought $230,000, the strongest result in more than 30 months. Peterson says that he said, I've never seen used values going up while new sales are going down. Never. Peterson says the underlying force behind the shift is impossible to ignore the cost of new equipment. I don't know how tall the ceiling is, but the price of new, he says, we understand why prices went up, labor, materials, everything through the pandemic. But at some point you have to ask, just because you can raise the price, should you? As the grain downturn stretches on, Peterson said farmers have had time to pause and reassess their operations and their machinery lineups. What it's done is given farmers time to catch their breath. They're saying, we got a lot of iron on this farm. We got more equipment than my dad had and more than my grandpa had. Do we really need all this going forward? The mindset shift doesn't necessarily mean farmers will stop buying equipment forever, but Peterson said it has changed buyers' behavior, especially in the short term, and it's pushed many operators towards well-kept used machines rather than 6 or 7 figure new purchases. When the money's not flowing, people think differently. That's just the reality. At the same time, farmers are stepping back. Peterson said the supply side of the market has also changed in ways that amplify used equipment demand. Manufacturers have dramatically reduced production, closing plants and laying off workers at levels Peterson said he's never seen before. While painful, these moves have eliminated excess new inventories sitting on dealer lots and the interest expense that comes with it. What manufacturers have achieved is basically no backlog of new equipment, Peterson said. He said dealer consolidation over the past decade has played a major role. Larger Dealer groups now carry more leverage with manufacturers, and when the slowdown hits, the dealers can act more quickly. They were paying 8% interest on all this stuff sitting on their lots. Their number one mission wasn't selling new equipment. Their number one mission was, we are going to move this one 2-3-year-old stuff. Manufacturers responded with incentives to help dealers clear late model used inventory, a level of cooperation Peterson says he's not seen in more than 30 years of tracking the market. I've never seen this level of coordination before, and the focus clearly shifted away from the new. Layered on top of the price and supply issues is the deep frustration with emission systems. Peterson says pre-diff equipment, whether trucks, tractors, or combines, now stand out immediately to buyers. The good pre-emission stuff jumps forward like a neon sign, he said. The demand is no longer suitable. Practices have once happened quietly, such as emission deletions, and now openly acknowledged and reflected in sale price. It used to be hush-hush, but not anymore, he says. Interesting. Yep, and hopefully what the president said here last week or whatever, he's getting rid of that stuff on farm equipment. Hopefully it does, and then maybe it'll change the market way around where guys are buying new equipment again. We'll see. All right, let's take a Wheeler General Store break. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, Jimmy's all wound up and ready to go. Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark.
Here are just a few good reasons on why you should do business with 5A Repair in Elk City. For one, they have factory-trained Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and GM technicians on staff, providing full-line automotive and equipment repair. Secondly, they are a Napa Auto Care Center backed by a minimum 2-year warranty. Thirdly, from minor tire repair to complete engine and transmission replacements, they'll treat you like you matter, because you know what? You do. They also have most major tire brands available. And 5A does wheel alignments, heater and air conditioning servicing, plus oil change and inspections. And when it comes to lawn and garden equipment, 5A Repair is your Western Oklahoma and East Texas Panhandle Red Max authorized dealer. These zero-turn mowers are built to last with heavy-duty frames and steel decks. And their Red Max string trimmers are top of the line. All warranty work is also done right in-house. And they service all makes and models of lawn equipment and smaller farm equipment. Call or stop by 5A Repair, 915 North Van Buren in Elk City. Take it from owner Marty Ashbaugh. 5A Repair is quality you can trust.
You are more than a truck driver. You have a life outside of work. You have a family. You have hopes for the future. You'd like to work with people who see you as a person, not just an employee. Canyon Oilfield Services is hiring day and night drivers. Apply at canyonoilfield.com and choose the yard and position you want. Excellent pay, full benefits, and you'll be valued for more than just your job. At Canyon Oilfield Services, the key word is service.
It helps to work with someone who's been down the same road you're traveling, someone who knows what you're up against and what you're going through. When it comes to farmers and ranchers, that's us. That's who we are. Our lenders know ag inside and out because we're producers too. We approach it like a partnership. We want to put ag producers in position to be successful. We're very laid back and easy to deal with. And people seem to like that. We think you'll like it too. I'm Marty Maddox. Great Plains Bank in Elk City is here to lend farmers and ranchers a helping hand. Member FDIC.
That life insurance that I have on myself, it's not for me. It's for my wife, that she doesn't have to sell the home. She doesn't have to go worry about how am I going to make this car payment? How am I going to come up with the cost out of pocket to pay this funeral? Because, that's an expensive cost. And it's a cost that you're going to have. If you had a machine in your garage that made money, it was a money-making machine. You went out every day and you flipped the switch on that machine and it generated money to pay your bills. Would you insure that machine? I've never had anybody say no. Sure they would. Well, you are that machine. You flip your switch on every morning when you get up. You flip your switch on when you go to work, but yet we don't insure ourselves. It doesn't make any sense to me. Hi, I'm Mickey Lively. I'm an insurance agent with Oklahoma Farm Bureau. My office is located in Greer County. Call me anytime at 580-782-3827.
Life insurance and annuity products offered through Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company. Property and casualty products are offered through Oklahoma Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance and affiliated companies.
An I-40 acreage near Canute can be yours Monday, December 29th. The seller is Jerry Bohannon, and his 21 acres of land are on the west edge of Canute. Auction will be at the property at 1 p.m. Prime I-40 Route 66 land. XIT Auctions is conducting the auction. For information, call Aubrey Latham, 580-393-4440. Online at xitauctions.com. 21 acres on I-40 on the west side of Canute will sell Monday, December 29th at 1 p.m. XIT Auctions, ready to work for you.
Now, back to more of Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Lone Wolf, Oklahoma. Here is your Hobart Farm and Garden ag weather update for southwestern Oklahoma. 56 degrees, dew point 16, humidity's 20. The winds are out of the south at 25 miles an hour with wind gusts up to 31. 3-day average 4-inch bare soil temperature, 46 degrees, sunset at 5:27. Breezy and 62 today, clear and 42 tonight. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, 73 degrees. The winds will be out of the southwest and northeast, 10 to 18 miles an hour. Don't sound like a bad day. Let's see here. Here's some of the OU Alabama predictions I got going on. OU 22, Alabama 10, OU 29, Alabama 13. I have it 27 to 21 OU. That's my prediction. 27, 21. That's the prediction. Take it or leave it. All right, let's see here. I couldn't get on the Woodward Western Livestock. Let's check it. I was going to give you an update from the Forestry Department. It's short and sweet. According to this outlook, cooler temperatures still above normal on Sunday following Saturday's cold front will, although AM warming trend beginning on Monday into Christmas Day, we'll see some records may be broken. The current 7-day precipitation outlook offers no rainfall while warm and dry conditions persist. Composite fuel moisture continues to degrade, which will begin to present some resistance to control issues, especially in the south central and southwestern Oklahoma, where extreme drought indices reside. So at this time, no critical fire is evident. They had that big fire up in Kansas yesterday, dude. That thing, somebody from the Kansas Highway Patrol showed that, and it was rolling across there. That we do have an addition to we have a new one, the only one. Grady County in Oklahoma now has a county burn ban on it. Just to update on that. Just letting you guys know. Grady County burn ban. When I come across this article, I thought it reminded me of that tractor that was in the parade for the Dust Bowl festivities over at Sayre last summer. There was a Oliver in there, and Bama by 6, but I hope not. Whatever. Let's see here. So there's an article that says the bold Oliver tractors that brought big horsepower to American farms. By the mid-50s, the writing was on the wall. Farmers, particularly those living in the West and Midwest, wanted more horsepower from their tractors. Looking to expand its market share, Oliver responded to the call with a new generation of machines that set horsepower standards the industry would follow for the next 10 years. Oliver already had a respectable line of mid-sized gas tractors. Company leaders wanted to build more on success, growing into an entirely new high-horsepower segment. The company's march towards building an industrial leading powerhouse began in 1940 when it pioneered the first use of a diesel engine. That year, the company bought out the Model 80, which which employed Boda 4DT 226 4-cylinder diesel. 8 years later, a 6-cylinder Wakarusa. Did I say that right? A Wakarusa. Oliver built 99, which introduced beefy diesel, which was made available in the company's fleet line Model 77 and 88. In 1952, the Model 99 was operating with a 6-cylinder diesel from Wakarusa. Is that how you say that? The sound began to be heard on the farm fields in 1954, the year the Super 99 was introduced. Beefy in appearance, and it is a cool-looking tractor. I'm not much on the colors, but it is a cool tractor. It looks like the fullback that should be in your backfield on a football team compared to the rest of the team. Does that make sense? The Super 99 came with a choice of gas and or diesel engines. It was the diesel that caught everybody's attention at the time. Built by General Motors, the unique three-cylinder, two-cycle diesel turned out a whopping 71.5 horsepower at the belt. Under a drawbar, the tractor offered 58.5 horsepower, which justified its rating for pulling a 5 to 6 bottom plow. The General Motors two-cycle had a relatively small cubic inch displacement of 213. This compared to the 302 CID for the 6-cylinder diesel powering the Oliver regular 6 and Super 99. Yet the General Motors engine ran a blistering 1,675 RPM, although it had 3 cylinders. The engine developed as many power strokes as a regular diesel, and thanks to a supercharger that forced air into the cylinders during the beginning of the intake and compression strokes, the 3-cylinder diesel developed more horsepower than a 6-cylinder engine. Powered for the regular Oliver 99 came the Oliver Wakarusa built 6-cylinder diesel with 65 belt horsepower. Both the Super 99 and the Super 99 GM were equipped with a 6-speed transmission, independent PTO, belt pulley, and hydraulic system. And although both tractors featured the same styling, the Super 99 GM hosted twin air stacks. I'm looking at one right now, and it's pretty cool. And a singular supercharger protruding from its engine that lent it distinctive look in the field. Oh man, I'm looking at this one right now, and it's sweet. Let's see here. By today's standard, the Oliver Super 99 GM's horsepower, a maximum 79 horsepower at the Nebraska tractor test evaluation, seemed piddling, but in the 50s, rarely did wheeled tractor produce more than 60 horsepower. The only competition back then for the Super 99 GM on a rated belt horsepower basis was the International Harvester's McCormick Super WD9, which was 57 horsepower, and John Deere's 80 diesel, 57.5 horsepower, and the Minneapolis Moline's GB diesel, 56 horsepower. Pretty sweet looking. I like this one better. The picture on this one got the white grill and the green instead of what it started out with. They got it painted yellow back in the day when it was a little older model. It's pretty cool deal. So let's see here. Finish it up. It said here's the Super 99 GM stood alone as the undisputed king of the farm horsepower, overshadowed only by the massive construction crawlers of the time. Oliver built on solid foundation laid by the Super 99 and Super 99 GM by introducing successful diesel power models until its horsepower technology was absorbed into the white farm equipment in 1969. Even then, the Oliver name continued to be used by White until 1976. That was the last year for the most powerful Oliver tractor ever built, and it was a 147 horsepower model 227. Is that right? No, 225. Pretty cool stuff. Love tractors, even though I don't know what to do with them. I love them anyway. So, all right, we got a minute left here, and real quick on some beef exports. It said few bright spots in the difficult month for U.S. beef exports. Although beef exports to South Korea took a step back in September, shipments to the U.S. industry's leading value market remained above last year's pace for the first 3 quarters. September exports totaled 14,810 million tons. And that can't be right. It's got to be. I guess it could be. Maybe. That's down 18% from a year ago, which value fell 20% to $139.3 million. There you go. Guys, I'll see you Monday. Have a wonderful weekend and Boomer Sooner. It's Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark, brought to you by First National Bank and Trust of Elk City and Sayre, Oklahoma.